If you're a real one, you don't mind checking in. I'm in the middle of old block, nigga. What you mean? We in the middle of old block, ain't we?
NBA stars might earn millions of dollars for what they do, but what can't be ignored is that some, if not all of them, have escaped from a troublesome past. So much so that trouble in the form of unsafe neighborhoods, turf wars, and gang violence was their brutal reality, which they needed to get out of in order to make a career as a ball player. We're gonna look at some of these players and their history, problematic ties and associations, and an alleged involvement with a life of crime in this video featuring NBA stars with gang ties. Before we begin, a special mention for two of those stars who didn't make the top 5, featuring James Harden and DeMar DeRozan. But why? Well, because James Harden throwing gang signs or referring to Lil Wayne as 5 couldn't prove enough to link him to the Bloods gang, and he was ripped into by Slim Thug and Lil Duval. As for DeMar, his story is a lot more inspirational as he survived gang activity in a notorious area like Compton, including the death of his uncle and best friend through gang violence. DeMar was reportedly protected for being a basketball talent by the Crips, and allegedly wore blue gear to school out of fear. But he overcame adversity and is now a 6-time All-Star. Another such example is John Wall, who despite throwing gang signs while being allegedly drunk at a party, was never proven or investigated for being a gang affiliate. Fans were having none of it, and John Wall issued an apology later for his behavior and is currently working to get his NBA career back on track after being waived by the Houston Rockets. This list gets more serious as we go along because starting at number 4, we have Steven Jackson, who aside from his very public admission of smoking weed his entire career,
The games I smoked was the games I knew I wasn't gonna play.
was also known to be an alleged part of the Bloods gang. However, he was quick to clarify his stance and the rumors around his association in a candid ESPN interview, talking about the iconic red bandana and showing no love for anyone in blue gear, a callback to the red versus blue rivalry between the Bloods and the Crips gangs. While he has later become known for his community work, gaining the NBA's Community Assist Award in 2008 for his good deeds, he was once again under fire in 2022 for going to Chicago's infamous O Block and hooping with goons, while also recording a short video in which he seemed beaming with swagger and taunting others who try to come to the neighborhood just for pictures.
Y'all pull up and take pictures and y'all not allowed to.
While things have been quiet since last year, this is one of the most bold incidents of an NBA player associated with gangs. Jumping quickly to number 3, we have 2-time All-Star and 2011 NBA champion Caron Butler, whose story starts with a devastatingly rough childhood in Racine, Wisconsin, where he was reportedly arrested 15 times before turning 15 and dealing drugs. Caron has admitted that his role models back then were pimps and drug dealers, and once his actions landed him in a maximum security detention center, Butler admitted it was survival. People were getting raped, you've got murders in there, it was a bad environment. Butler, in his book Tough Juice: My Journey from the Streets to the NBA, he admitted, as per sources, that he had to prove himself on the streets as a gang member and drug dealer, and he had seen it all. Friends killed, gang fights, arrested 15 times before the age of 15. A life in the ghetto is not easy, and people who grew up in such a grueling place either don't grow to see their elder years or stay there for life. In fact, one time a then 17-year-old Caron Butler was handcuffed in his own home, and about 15 grams of crack cocaine was recovered from his garage area. However, a decision to not imprison Butler by Detective Richard Geller changed his life, and that one decision made him a future NBA champion. From purchasing guns at 12 to being in a gang and dealing drugs to make ends meet, and then changing your whole life to become an NBA champion. What a story. Now, before our top 2 names on this list are revealed, we would just love it if you could like this video, subscribe to our channel as well, and hit the bell icon for latest updates on our new content. And do let us know in the comments section which NBA star you've heard of being associated with the gang. Which quickly brings us to number 2 on this list, and that person is Zach Randolph. Growing in a home without a father was once claimed as a reason by the 2-time All-Star for the start of his troubles, but it surely had a lot to do with his own will. Randolph has had his involvement in a series of cases where Grantland.com reports that 15-year-old Randolph was placed under house arrest for battery. He was placed in juvenile detention 2 years later for receiving stolen guns. In 2002, he was arrested for underage drinking less than a year after being drafted to the NBA by Portland. Troubles for Randolph didn't stop there, as his alleged association with the Hoops family entourage/gang has come under question. And another incident which strikes out the most is his alleged association with the gang Gangster Disciples, as highlighted in an episode of MTV Cribs, where it was highlighted that Randolph has a 6-pointer star logo on his pool table, a reference to the logo of the Gangster Disciples, and photos of Larry Hoover in his room, who is a convicted gang leader as well as the founder of the Gangster Disciples. His association with trouble didn't rest easy, as he was reportedly involved in beating up a man with pool cues under the idea of selling him marijuana. While Randolph physically wasn't present at the altercation, police recovered bloody evidence and pool cues from his apartment, thus complicating matters for him. Randolph was also questioned for an alleged drug bust where marijuana was found in his Cadillac Escalade, and upon further searching of storage rental facilities under his name, they found controlled substances and 4 vehicles with secret compartments, prompting suspicion of his involvement in drug dealing and gang affiliation. Despite being an NBA star with a career of 17 years, Randolph's off-court antics continue to be a talking point even today. And finally, moving to our number 1 name, we have Javaris Crittenton on this list, and his list of problems is a big one. Crittenton was involved in a locker room fight with Gilbert Arenas where guns were drawn out, and things escalated when he was involved in the murder of 22-year-old mother of 4, Julian Jones, who reportedly, despite not being the intended target, died during surgery succumbing to gunshot wounds by Crittenton, who was reportedly looking to target someone who had robbed him days earlier. It was reported by Slam magazine that shortly after becoming the 19th overall pick in 2007 and signing a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers for $2.6 million in guaranteed money, Crittenton joined the West Los Angeles street gang known as the Mansfield Gangster Crips. On Wednesday, Crittenton admitted in court to being a gang member in a tearful guilty plea in which he apologized to the family of Jones. In open court, Crittenton acknowledged that he joined a gang for protection. After being sentenced to 23 years in prison during his trial in 2013, he was finally released in April 2023. And so far, that's the last update on him. And that brings us to the end of this video featuring NBA stars with gang ties. Do like this video, subscribe to our channel for more interesting content, and make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications for whenever we upload new content. And do let us know in the comments section which NBA players we may have missed and what kind of content you'd like to see more from us. See you next time.